There are moments that change your life, and that moment for me happened around Christmas 2001. We were on a road trip with Jeb, with Yuri, with JJ, I think with Neil and Rob Thompson, who died 8 months later. It was the first jump of the trip, Courthouse Cliff in Arizona. I was the last guy on top. Basically, I had packed my parachute for 5 seconds of delay, but it's kind of like a blind exit spot. You don't know where you're jumping. Basically, they just told me to take 5 seconds, and after I exit, I was very uncomfortable with the free fall. I only took 2 seconds of free fall. My parachute opened, heading the mountain, and that's a sight that, you know, that's pretty gnarly sight, I have to tell you that. It's one of those things like you see the cliff coming at you and you know it's gonna hurt. You know you either die or you'll be crippled for life. But it's not a point where you give up anyhow. That's the point where you start fighting. That's where I grabbed the risers. I started to turn around the canopy, and you know, that's where I took the first hit and the only hit. It was really hard. Like, I didn't have any protection. I kind of took it very calmly. I only had like sneakers on, I had shorts, and I had t-shirts, you know. That's not very smart jumping at all. I put my legs first, and my legs were the ones that took the worst beating. I was still able to maintain conscience. I turned around the canopy. I hit it very hard. I mean, people tell that you don't feel pain, that kind of a situation, but I have to tell you, you know, you feel pain, but what can you do? You just have to kind of put it on the side and survive. Luckily, I was able to turn around the canopy. I was flying away from the cliff. I kind of did a small update. I was still maybe in 300 feet, flying away from the cliff. I was hurt, like I thought I had broken my hip. I was in intense pain right away. I look at my right foot. It was kind of alright. I still thought I twisted an ankle and maybe broke a ligament or two. And then I watched my left ankle, and you know, that kind of scared me a lot. I just saw it hanging by skin. That was everything that was left. It was just kind of like, that was gnarly, but you know, that's part of the sport, so you know, you have to bite the bullet. I started to yell at my friends who were already underneath, like, don't let my left foot touch the ground, don't let my left foot touch the ground. And you know, they had no idea where I would land, so I was kind of hanging, like landing, and they were running all over the place, just kind of speculating where I would land, and I had no idea where I would land. There were like big cactuses around, so not only I had to try to step on that foot that was destroyed, I would have to avoid the cactuses. And you know, I was just coming on the ground. My friends couldn't catch me because they didn't know where I was going. And luckily I was able to stall the canopy. So as I was coming down, I stalled it and I landed on my butt. It took up maybe 20 seconds for my friends to come over, and you know, they saw the situation, and you know, everyone knew it's going to be bad. I was in pretty intense pain, I have to tell you that. Like the first 15 minutes, you know, I thought I'd be the man, you know, bite the bullet, just take it, like, don't make a sound. I knew when the night would fall upon us, like, it would take hours for me to get away. But basically the situation was, I had put my left foot about, like, in front of me, and the left foot, this is 3 years after the accident. Basically my toes were pointing to the sky and the bone was coming through my leg. The chopper came just hovering above us, but they couldn't land. It was already way too dark. That's when things started to turn into the worst, and I knew it would be a long time since I would get out of there. After 3.5 hours, 4 hours, I don't know, I lost time, like the sense of time. It felt like days. I got the first medical people coming to me, and the guy said, like, you know, we have good news, we have bad news. The good news is that you're going to go towards the hospital from now on, and the bad news is we can't give you any morphine. You know, we don't know if you have any internal bleeding. So they took my leg, which was pointing, the toes were pointing that way. They just tore it, straightened it up, People say like you got in the shock or you pass out if you feel pain enough, but I did not. I tried. I was hyperventilating. I was like, come on, give me the shock, take away the pain. But you know, after 4.5 hours, I had lost most of my powers, and I was still conscious. I was feeling every bit of the pain. After the accident, I was jumping in 6 months. I couldn't do any jumping on solid ground. I only did sites where the only landing area was the water. You know, once more, I practiced a lot. I did a lot of physiotherapy. I learned to walk again. I got back to jumping intensely. I've done maybe 200 jumps after the injury. But last fall was another accident that made me decide to stop base jumping. I broke something in my ankle. I don't know what, because it's such a mess already. But I tore some ligament in my knee, and I got like a serious neck injury, and I lost some of the movements. And that was a decision for me after Twainstead, after my own injury. Like you know, I don't want to be a wreck when I grow up, and I still want to enjoy the sport. I still want to enjoy the people. But you know, it's just too painful. You know, that's it. That's enough. I have to throw the towel.
I'm going to die. I understand that. I also understand the fact that everyone dies. There's no preventing it from happening. That's just part of life. And I'm not going to allow something that's inevitable to prevent me from living my dreams and doing what I love. I understand that what I do is dangerous. I understand that what I do can and probably will kill me. But I also understand that if I didn't do it, I'd still die. There's nothing that's going to stop that. So I'm going to continue living my life the way I choose and doing the kinds of things that I enjoy, because that's my life. And if I were to stop and like put myself in some padded room and live to be 80, well, I was already dead that entire time. I just lived 80 years being dead, you know? What's the point of that? I'd much rather live 28 years living my dreams than 80 hiding from them.